So ancient Rome was the most powerful empire in history, period, right? But before it became the Roman Empire, it was actually the Roman Republic. The people of Rome had gone through an initial period of having rulers or kings, but they decided that that's not going to happen. They wanted to have a republic where it was the people, guided by uh, people in authority like senators, politicians, and all of that, that would prescribe how the society would operate, right? But along came a guy called Julius Caesar who had aspirations, sort of, to break the pain of being of Rome being a republic, and he wanted to develop it into an empire. Unfortunately for him, his aspirations led him into direct conflict with the other side of the Senate, especially those um, the rich individuals, who wanted to maintain the republic as it was, and eventually it led into civil war. Now, at that time, Rome, before you could get into Rome, you had to cross a river called the Rubicon, right? And it was absolutely standard. It was a law that the army, right, generals and their armies were not allowed to cross the Rubicon because it would be tantamount to declaring war or something of that nature. But Caesar had reached an impasse, and he had decided that this was the way to go. So he made the fateful decision to cross the Rubicon. Eventually, um, crossing the Rubicon that day resulted in his assassination, but it also resulted into the eventual change of the Roman Republic into the Roman Empire because it was his successor, Caesar Augustus, right, that became the first Roman emperor, right, and that is how the emperors of Rome, developed. Now, why did I tell you that story? It's because life is all about taking risks, especially if you're in a position of leadership or if you're someone who aspires to become a leader. You need courage. The act of courage that Caesar displayed that day was really quite high because he knew what it meant. He knew that crossing the Rubicon meant civil war, it meant conflict, and ultimately it would mean his own life. But he saw all of that, or at least the first two. I'm not sure that he wanted to be assassinated, but he decided to go on anyway. Now, courage doesn't necessarily mean giving up your life, but it does mean sometimes you have to be in a place to where you're the lone voice, especially in a crowd of dissenting voices, people who have other opinions that are different from yours. But you know and you believe that the course that you have decided to embark upon is based on truth, right? And you're not doing it to be contrary. You're not doing it to be big-headed or whatever it is. You're doing it because this is absolutely what you believe in, and this is absolutely what you believe is the truth. And you have to take a stand. You have to take a stand. You can't afford to be swept away on the tide of people's opinions, right? Because all you do at the end of the day is just conform. And, conformists don't change the world. To change the world, you have to stand out. You have to be courageous. You have to stand on your ideals. You have to stand on your values. So courage is an absolute prerequisite for all great people, for all great leaders, for anybody who wants to achieve greatness in life. You must be courageous in order to get things done.